Welcome. Welcome back to another episode of Perspective, where we're gonna bring you motivation, inspiration, with a simple conversation, man. Like I always tell y'all guys, my goal is to always make sure that I put somebody in front of you that's not only gonna motivate you, but is gonna inspire you to be your best version of yourself. I'm realistic enough with myself to know that I may not be the cup of tea guy for you, but every time when I sit down and have a conversation with somebody, I aim to make sure that the person that I put in front of you guys is one trustworthy, true to themselves, and I know they are not anything like me. That's why it's called perspective. If you ever don't like what we said, or if you do, please, I beg of you, man, please put your perspective down in that comment box today. And trust me, if you be loud enough and you give your comment enough, I'm almost positive that my guy that's sitting with me today, man, we'll look and we need to connect back with you, man. We'll get on any live that you want, YouTube live, Facebook live, whatever live it was about, whether it was great or negative or indifferent, we'll make sure we reach back out. But enough of that being said, let me introduce my guy to you guys today, man. Today's conversation is special for me today, man. It's I would say more of a high school friend, you know what I'm saying, adolescent, man. I met him when I got over to Miami High. It's a little bit different when I got there, coming from Miami Northwest for the year that I did go over there. But one thing I noticed about this guy, he had his own style. He had his own, cause I'm big on fashion, he had his own way that he dressed. He had his own way about the way he carried himself. And I'm glad today to have him here today to be able to have this conversation with him, man. My guest today is somebody that embodies what it looks like when creativity, purpose, and discipline meet. He's a poet, a coach, a DJ, a creator. Yes, a creator, man. But more than that, he's someone who understands energy, expression, and impact in a world that constantly tells you to pick one thing and stay there. He chooses to listen to what he's becoming instead of what he's told to be. My guy, my friend, Mr. Kyle Andrews, man.
For sure.
Appreciate you, man.
Hey,
Appreciate you.
Miami High, say that. The great Miami High, man.
The great, yeah, you're right. The great Miami High, man, because that's where it all started at.
Yeah, the great Miami High.
The great Miami High. Yeah, man. Yeah, the great Miami High. My bad. You know, Miami High have a special place in my heart.
Yeah.
It's more like a brotherhood, man. Every guy that I met there, they embraced me, man. They showed me love. And man, it's a special place. Different, but Miami High is, to me, true destination of love, man.
Right.
For me, my experience there.
Right.
But enough about me, man. Could you please bring everybody up to speed to who you are? A little bit, what you do, and when it comes to Kyle Andrews.
Like you said, man, I believe myself to be a fun-loving guy, serious, but also funny, personality, coach. I'm big on, trying to make sure that I live with purpose in whatever I'm doing. That's my baseline for life is really trying to live purposeful, because we can do a lot of stuff, but, it's like, what are you doing it for? What's the reason behind it?
Yeah.
So whatever I'm doing, I try to make sure I'm doing it purposeful and, make it make sense. So, like you say, coaching, and just being a great person. That's how I like to look at myself, as being a great person.
Okay, then. Well, that's currently where you at, man. But for me, we all have to start somewhere in this life. You know what I'm saying? And for me, we all had a childhood, a foundation that we came from that started us out.
Right.
And I think it got us to the point that that's how we chose to be what a creativity is at this point right now. But I believe in the foundation that we come from. Mm-hmm. It plays a big role until we decide to make our own decision and our own choice. You know what I'm saying? And I saw you in another interview. I knew that you grew up. Well, I'm gonna say you grew up with two involved parents in your life. And for me, I know back in the 80s, 90s, that's a very rarity in today's time. I mean, and back in that time, seems to me from afar that you're a great father. Mm-hmm. Coming up with two parents involved in your life, how would you say that was shaped you into being a great father now?
I mean, it go up and down, and I think it's when you're young, a lot of people have great parents, for example, or good parents, or whatever you want to call it. But I just always think, the older I got, I started to believe that a lot of kids think their parents are like the worst people in the world, Like I'd rather go chill at the homie house than to stay at home. But you know that's not to say that my parents are bad parents. It's just we're there all the time. So we don't know what kind of life our friends living outside of us being there. Their parents probably just being nice to us, you know, when you there.
When you're there in that moment.
Yeah, but at the same time, just for me, I mean, I'm still learning how to be a parent, and you know, like I said, I think it's ever evolving because whenever you have a kid or kids, they're going to continue to grow into different people. You know, I always like to say that. So as the years go on, your kid is going to change, and then it's your makeup with the other parents' makeup. So you know, it's half and half. So at some point, they probably be a little bit of you and a lot of them, and then as they get older, they might be a little bit of them and a lot of you. You know, so it's always a adjustment and an adaptation that you have to go through.
And I think, you know, having kids, and I know being involved in coaching, believe it or not, it you know, it keeps you forever young. You know, it keeps you like, because it's the things they be into, man, you be like, yo, you seriously like that? Or you listening to that? You know, I had a hard time in the beginning, accepting the little Uzis and Yachties and all that stuff. Man. My son was going crazy with it. But once I took a step back out of me and said, yo, hey, my mom felt the same way about Tupac in the beginning until he made Dear Mama. That's how she felt. She like, yeah, listen to that Ice Cube and all that, because they came from the era of Luther Vandross, Barry White, true musicians. Then now it's like scripted. And now they are, music ain't even music, they just make sounds. It sounds good.
They wanted to go viral.
It's working. You know, my question for you, man, what was your childhood really like? I mean, what shaped you before the world, you know, ever really truly saw the talent of Kyle? Because there's many things to you, you know, like, what was that moment when you was young, you feel like, man, you know, it shaped you?
Just growing up where I grew up, you know, I'm from the project, so you know, I'm from the Matchbox in Carroll City, and then we moved to the sub, so I went from one extreme to another. So just seeing life, and then really not understanding it at that point, and then you know, back then it was different. So I saw what I call real gangsters. I saw stuff happening. I saw people getting shot and killed, and people overdosing on drugs. And then back then, you know, it was a thing where those type of dudes, they wouldn't let us get involved in stuff.
They'll keep us away from it.
They if something was going on, go in the house or go to school, or you're not going and you know be involved in it. So,
let you know, don't be out here today. It's going down.
It's I don't think there's any real dudes left out here like that. A lot of them dead or in jail. That's really stopping kids from doing stuff, and especially in a living in the projects. That dynamic not the same.
It's very rare.
So,
it's very rare for them to be want to protect.
So seeing all that stuff, it made me better, but it also made me not be soft, you know? But it made me better to know, like, okay, especially with them dudes saying, don't do this, or you can do something better, you know what I mean? So that's why a lot of these young dudes out here crashing out now, because they don't really have no guidance. They probably don't have no fathers or no family structure, and then they just think, like you said, the music, they just, you know, like we always say as older dudes, I mean, I know we don't look that old, but you know, the thing about it is, the dudes that we was listening to was talking about selling drugs. What they listening to, they talking about doing drugs, you feel me? So it's a big difference.
It's a big dynamic, and then sometimes when you, again, I go back to the fact that you coach and deal with kids, sometimes, and I know you came across it before, it'll be two kids beefing with each other, but they never really met each other.
Right. And
our ever real was beef.
It
wasn't like, we got in a fight, he tried to talk to my girl, he trying to take my dope, he robbed me, he took my shoes. I think it was realistic. This neighborhood beefing with that neighborhood, like realistic.
And I mean, I'll just say, in both of them circumstances, it's all stupid. It don't make sense, because you can go live your life, I can go live mine. And we just gonna have to work it out the way we work it out, because I'm still trying to progress like you trying to progress. And whatever avenue we get into, whether it be a girl, sports, music, a real job, whatever. So, you know, but that's, as we get older, we more mature, so we think about that kind of stuff.
Okay, man. Growing up, man, what's, you know, I guess being yourself or being creative, can you remember a moment where, or where you was encouraged to, to be yourself, or that was something that you had to protect to the point that you felt like, okay, now I'm gonna step out. You know what I'm saying? Because I know sometimes, let's just say you listen. I'm gonna go far. You like Hannah Montana, even though Hannah Montana exists back then, right? You like this kind of music, whatever. You knew, like you say, you grew up in the projects.
Right.
Did you was able to express like, okay, I like, whoever, or is it something you knew certain limits? I know growing up in the neighborhood, certain things you had to protect.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Was it encouraged like, nah, man, be yourself, be this? Was it encouraged at that level?
For me, I believe that it was always there to just be me.
Yeah.
And I tell people all the time, I mean, I got a brother and a daddy and uncles and cousins. The only person I ever wanted to be in life was Penny Hardaway, man. Like, I'm an Orlando Magic fan because of Penny. To this day, I still love Orlando, but for some reason, I wanted to be Anthony Hardaway. I ain't never wanted to be nobody else. But outside of that, it was always, I just found it easier to just be who I was.
Yeah.
Whether you, and I just attribute that to God, I guess. That's just how God made me, because I never wanted to do anything like anybody else except Penny. Like, I love basketball, so I wanted to play basketball. So this the basketball player I want to play like, so. But just being yourself is the best way to be, man. And it's funny, I just saw this yesterday on one of the homies' Instagram, but Fade to Black, the Jay-Z movie.
Yeah.
It's always
I remember that one.
There's always a clip on there where they were sitting in the studio and it was a young dude who was rapping with them. And he was saying, I make music, basically, paraphrasing, like, I make music about killing and dealing drugs. Yeah. And the dude was like, that's what he got to rap about. He was like, man, that's what the people want to hear. And Guru was sitting next to him, Jay-Z people. And he was like, man, just be the fuck you. And I'm like, man, like, for some reason, that was so powerful to me because it's easy to be other people.
Yeah.
It's easy to fit in, rather. But it's hard to stand out and be your own person. And a lot of people got a problem with being by themselves and standing out. They want to go with the trends and the crowd and what's hot and, all that kind of stuff. I never wanted to be like that.
I wanted to be like, you know what I'm saying? I feel like that's a high school syndrome. Now, what I can say, me coming from Miami Northwestern and going over to Miami High, man, it was such a culture change.
Yeah, for me.
Not even to like even go left and make it about me, but one thing I can say about Miami High, what I loved about it, they accepted you for who you are.
Yeah.
They never, you know what I'm saying? Whatever you was at, they accepted your greatness.
Yeah.
You're a comedian, whatever it was.
Yeah.
They promoted, and it wasn't nothing like talked about on the PA system. It was like, I think all the blacks, because it's a Spanish, but predominantly school.
Right.
I didn't know that when I went there for that moment.
Yeah.
Because the year before, y'all just knocked the West out of the playoffs with Roscoe and all them.
Right.
So I'm like, this shit got to be good. You know what I'm saying? Knock the West out. But with that being said, it was like when I got there, I was like, yo, I know for me, I'm like, I can be 100% myself. I came with that dynamic like, yo, I got to be fresh every day at school. I got to do that. And you had some Spanish girl with the same blue jeans or black jeans. They gonna change the top. They gonna wipe just their hair up.
Yeah.
And then, the thing that we took serious as blacks, it was like the Spanish boys, that didn't even bother them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? There wasn't even nothing that, how can I say, wasn't even frowned upon or whatever you want to call it.
Right.
So I know going to Miami out for that moment, it did promote being 100% yourself, man.
Yeah.
A lot, man.
Yeah.
My last question before we jump to the next thing. What was that moment that you realized that you was different? That you said, even though you said, you always was yourself, when did you have that moment like, okay, what I'm doing or who I am is different? As a child or an adult?
It's crazy. I think that's a great question, but what's crazy for me is I believe it was when I probably was about 20 something, and it was a moment where I really stopped and asked myself, like, why does everybody like me?
Yeah.
It's like everywhere I go, people don't have issues with me. People gravitate towards me, and I'm not even a friendly, talkative person. Like I consider myself to be an introvert. I don't go out my way to try to make friends with people or whatever. And the only thing I came up with was that I'm always myself. And it's a lot of people that don't know how to be themselves because again, what they try to do is they try to fit into a box or a crowd or with a team,
Yeah.
or you know, they want people to like. I don't care if people don't like me. I don't care how you feel about me, good, bad, or indifferent. You know, so my thing is, it hit me one day when I was like, you know, like damn, it's probably just because you always yourself. And I think real people appreciate you being yourself.
Without a
And
doubt.
so that was a moment where I said, okay, that's what it is.
That's big of you, man, because I know growing up in the projects, I grew up in the projects. I grew up in the city. You know, I used to go to my aunt's house a lot out in Carol City back then. They call it Miami Gardens now. Carol City was Carol City back
Still,
then.
I'm from Carol City.
You know what I'm saying?
You can't say
that. That Carol City.
I would never call
no,
it Miami
disrespectful. Like saying Miami, trust me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? My team lived over by Carol City Middle. I guess where the lake at, whatever that cut across. It was a set of projects right across the river before you go to the McDonald's. They did it at first. Then they moved in the house right across the river. So, but man, it was two different dynamics. But you always knew, you know, not to play. Every hood has its own rules.
Right.
But it was big if you grew up in the projects to know that you was truly different, because in the projects, to be honest with you, man, we don't have gangs in Miami. We know that, but we got cliques back then. It was cliques.
Yeah. Whatever hood you were from.
It was considered a clique because gangs you can't get out. But in Miami, a gang gonna never really survive because people do have their own mind. Yeah. And I would say back then the cliques was, okay, well, if you weren't with us, then you on your own when you got in trouble.
Right.
That's all that was. You was on your own. Okay, you ain't helping us jump, buddy. When you get jumped, since you say you ain't with us no more, you ain't with home team, you ain't with behind the back, you ain't with, you know what I'm saying, black, blue, whatever, you know what I'm saying, behind the P, you ain't with us no more. Okay, cool then. When X, Y, and Z, you get into with them boys, you on your own. So that was the only dynamic I would say the difference. For you to know that, you know what I'm saying, growing up in the project, you know what I'm saying, that's one thing being promoted. It does get promoted being together, but at the same time, you know, take it bigger, you say, nah, man, I'm just me.
Yeah.
This is what I want to do.
But see, that was the thing too, like you say, people move around too much in Miami. Like when somebody say, where you from? They say Miami. And they say, what part? If you don't live in Miami, you don't live here and there for whatever reason.
Yeah.
You know, so like I said, when I moved from the Matchbox, we moved to Brown Sub.
Yeah.
So that's when I learned what beef was. Because back then, people from Carol City ain't like people from the city and vice versa. You know, so it was a whole thing. But I say I'm from Carol City, but I grew up in Brown Sub. Yeah. Because when I moved over there, I was turning into a teenager.
You saw two different dynamics.
Yeah, you get what I'm saying? But like growing up in the Matchbox really was like, it was everybody that was in the Matchbox was from the Matchbox.
So it was like more like family.
Right. So like the project dynamics now is different. You got people from here and there and here out of town. Now everybody from there was from there. Yeah. So to the point that you just made, if one of us had a fight, all us fought. So people wouldn't mess with us because they was like, nah, we gonna have to fight all 17 of them. Yeah. So it wasn't a thing. It's the same thing that people from the Scots, like they stuck together. Or the Beans, people stuck together. Yeah. You know, so it's to the point that you made, like it's not a gang, but like this dude lived across the sidewalk from me. So I ain't finna let them go out on food like this, you know? So it was a real thing.
It was an in-house thing. You can get in a fight, and if you fight inside the neighborhood, then it's just family versus family.
Right. We still gonna be friends.
But once it get out the neighborhood, it's us against them.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's the moment I say, I remember back then it was cliques. What clique you in? You know what I'm saying? But the moment you weren't with it when it went outside the neighborhood, and bro, you on your own then, bro. Yeah. You a Mog or whatever, an F nigga, whatever you want to call it back. You know, that's how it was back then.
That's
you know
definitely what it was.
Yeah, man. So the next thing I know you big on, I see you transitioning to doing it, man. You know, coaching, and you already said what your purpose is, man. But for me, man, it stuck with me, man. Your motto, man. Team before self, family before me. What does that mean to you? You know, and where do you get that from?
You know, just being selfless. And the head coach, the head coach at our school, it's something that really I kind of got from him. But it kind of.
In the school you at?
North Miami Senior High. Yeah. So that's a good motto. You know, it's acronym basically. It's forget about me, I love you. You know what I mean? So when I heard that, because I'm big on quotes and little sayings and stuff, so man, that's deep. So, I can't even take credit for that. I picked that up from him, but
Yeah.
also that's just also part of being on the coaching staff and being family, and just going out and then instilling that into the team, and the players or the kids, but
Yeah.
also inside of ourselves, because even with coaching, and I mean, you done coached
Yeah.
before, so it's sometimes like you taking away from your family to go help these
course.
kids grow up.
Of course.
Or you taking away from your personal time,
Yeah.
your leisure activities, because you love coaching.
Yeah.
And it ain't like
got
you
to
getting
love it
paid
again.
$17 million or something like these
you
high
got
college.
it in Miami, in
we-
South Florida.
Yeah, we out here to see these kids be better people. And
yeah.
especially, to piggyback off what we were just talking about, from where we from, it's like, nah, man, you can do better for yourself.
Yeah.
Even if you don't play football past this level, I'm gonna help you with life. So when you get into a life situation, and even just coaching, I done coach Optimist and high school.
Yeah.
Like even just coaching, I done been in some of them situations where I
Yeah.
had to talk to kids, talk them off the ledge, help them with problems, personal stuff, or just maturity type stuff.
Yeah.
And because I done been through stuff before, so but yeah, so that's what it means.
So you'll say one of your biggest purpose of why you coaching is because, I mean, it gives you motivation and it keeps you focused because the things that you probably went through. This is the way that you able to I guess express that emotion when you see certain things with certain kids through your life experience. I think from what I'm hearing, it plays a big role to why you coaching. I know when I coach, it was a lot of dynamics of what I didn't have growing up. So certain things like you see in a kid, or you may see them going down that wrong path. I think with a lot of coaches, why, especially in South Florida, because we don't get paid much. I think we do it
If you
because
get paid at all.
whatever happens. I think they do a lot because of things we've been through, and if you can just probably steer that kid away from it.
Yeah.
Like you said, walking back off that ledge, or help them believe more in themselves, man.
Yeah.
I think it's hard to get a kid to believe in themselves.
Yeah.
Some kids with super talent, man.
They don't
And they
have
get lazy.
Yeah, they don't have no discipline
You know what I'm saying?
or no guidance.
I know you probably had a kid that do something effortlessly, but he just don't understand what he has.
Yeah. So I mean, that's where a coach comes in at,
Yeah,
because
I'm
now when you
saying.
talk about coaching, the obvious thing is like I'm coaching football.
Yeah.
But the thing about me is like I'm coaching you for life. I'm trying to help you with life because I came to the realization that my purpose in life is to help people in whatever capacity it is.
Yeah.
But just me being an athlete and loving sports, what better way to do that than coaching? And I got some kids that done went off to college. They still call me, even though they're in college doing their thing, and just like, what's up, coach? And so that kind of stuff is rewarding to know that you're actually helping somebody become a better person. Because I mean, just like I noticed, going from high school, going from college to the NFL playing football, for example, it's 1% of people get drafted.
Nah.
So, but now if I can help you figure out what you want to do with your life,
Yeah, be a great human being.
and even if I'm 1% of you, making a decision when you get into a situation to not spaz out on somebody just because you might think of something I told you 2 years ago, and so that's big for me to just know that you can help make a difference in somebody's life.
Yeah, I love that, man.
Yeah.
I love that. I know, man, that's the most biggest thing. I know when I was coaching, man, I've coached basketball, I've coached girls flag, little league, high school, all that. And I think the goal and purpose of person, from what I'm hearing what you saying, I know for me was to make an impact in their life.
Yeah, for sure.
You make an impact in their life. Because a lot of them, like you say, everybody ain't gonna go to the league.
Nah.
They ain't gonna go to the league. But
That's
if you
the
can,
dream.
Yeah, that's the dream. But if they can instill that same work ethic into their life, into other things, because everybody got many talents.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Especially if they're dealing with you, they're gonna learn that, hey, when they find out, man, coach you DJ, coach you right, thinking that it's just one way.
Right.
Now they can say, well, that ain't the only way out of this thing.
Yeah.
But I can use what I'm getting from coach and what I'm learning with understanding that I have to come to practice every day. I gotta lift, I gotta do this, I gotta do that. If I can apply this to my secondary talent,
Yeah.
man, I can almost be the same successful, the way that I'm being successful on this field. Man.
Right.
And I think a great coach is an impactful coach.
Yeah.
A coach that you still get, I still get those calls. It's kids that's grown, it's kids that's in college. You know what I'm saying? I'm getting invited to baby showers now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
big,
saying?
man.
Invited to their kids, and they not like, they still calling me coach.
Yeah,
They
that's
like,
big, man.
you know, so I think that's the greatest thing, being an extension, that you make an impact from, like you said, kids still reaching out to you. You know, I think that's great, man, that you're still able to do that. You know, and to wake up every day and still have the energy. Because sometimes you get burnt out as a coach, man.
Yeah.
You know, you get frustrated sometimes, but to keep
Not,
going
not,
at it.
not when you love it and you doing it for the right reasons. You know, because it's wins and losses, man. But at the end of the day, I feel even with losses, you know, you got to come back from it. Is you gonna get knocked down.
Yeah, yeah.
But you lose when you don't get up. You get what I'm saying? So if you can, it's just like if you get in a fight. Like if you get in a fight, you know, some fool knock you down. What you think he gonna pummel you if you just stay down there?
Yeah.
You
You
know,
got to get up.
You gotta get up.
You got to get up.
Or sometimes you might get hit hard enough and you gotta tell. I done been in this situation before. Like I done got hit like in a fight.
Yeah.
And like my brain just was saying, man, don't fall.
Yeah.
Because if you fall, it's over.
Yeah.
You know,
you got to make it through
so
the fight.
the will got to be in you.
mind.
You got to be strong, man. Like you got to be strong here before you be strong here.
Oh, yeah.
Like that's important.
Yeah. Man, I'm gonna change cones a little bit, you know. Man, if you guys don't know, man, my guy Kyle Andrews, he's a poet, man. This was the most powerful thing. I was excited to bring him on about, you know what I'm saying? I ain't never met a poet. But it make a lot of sense, you know, why I'm a guy so smooth. It just go hand in hand. You know, I know this had to be deep down inside of him in the beginning of time, because it transitioned too well. He played basketball like how you do poetry, smooth, the same way. I'm like, hold on, man, is he just being over exaggerated? Oh, you really like that? But when I got grown, and I was like, when I saw him on Instagram reading poetry, I'm like, makes sense. It makes so much sense, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, and poetry usually come from either pain, love, truth. What made you start writing? What made you think about poetry, man? Being a black man in Miami-Dade County from the projects, I gotta put that out there. You know, when you was young, did they know you like poetry?
It really hit me in like high school.
Okay then.
Really. And you know, like I said, it's a gift from God. I can pull a poem out of the sky, you know, but it's expression. And I think you know, just a lot of people, but more so especially like you said, black men.
Yeah.
I think a lot of men aren't really expressive.
No.
You know, so it's just something, and I really write about a lot, love, you know, and it's like for me, like I said, it was just a gift. And most times when I write poems, people, they might think that I'm heartbroken or something like that.
Because I was wondering, what you trying to hear yourself? You know?
Nah.
You trying to hear yourself?
No,
you know, you trying to because you just gotta be watching this last month. November was men's mental health month.
Yeah.
So if you ever need some help, man, reach out. Get you some help. There's nothing wrong with.
Go to therapy.
Yeah, man. Oh man.
Even if nothing wrong with you, just go to
Therapy
therapy.
saved my life.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Made me change, because sometimes you need to be able to express to somebody that don't even know you.
Yeah, that's the
And
best
just
people to
get
talk to.
Get that thing out, because some things you can't say to somebody that they just don't judge, you know, because that's still your mom, your brother, your sister.
Yeah.
Whatever the dynamic is, you can't talk to your mom that, for example, I'm gonna just be over exaggerating with it. Oh, mom, I'm in love with 50 women. So how is that possible?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But her, you supposed to love one woman. Just
Yeah.
saying that back to you.
Yeah.
You know, that the therapist can say, hey, well, you know, they'll break it down and try to understand why you are that way.
Right.
And give you strategy and tactics. I know the therapists I had, and it helped me.
Right.
You know, change. But a lot of black men, we don't, that word therapy is like poetry.
Like they say, it's taboo. But
Yeah.
I mean, with poetry, like I said, a lot of poems I write, they don't have anything to do with me. It's just like for me, it's I can think of a one line. The first line,
Can you give us one?
like
Can you? I don't want to be like this, man. I'm gonna say that. What's something you think you know that you dropped that people, you know? Can you give us something that you know that you probably said before or dropped before that it did connect with people? It had nothing to do with nothing, like you said. You just like, you know, something that you know you came up with.
you don't put me on the spot.
My bad.
I feel like a rapper that can't freestyle now.
Nah.
That was crazy, and I write so many poems.
Yeah.
I mean, I got poems on my phone, and all that kind of stuff. I don't really remember too many of them just because I feel like I write so
Oh, but
many.
they just
Yeah,
go. So you like Wayne?
I like Rain Man.
Yeah, no, Wayne just he said
Oh,
they
like
just
Wayne, yeah,
like
yeah.
Wayne. They just say they go.
Yeah, so
Sometimes he got to go re-listen to back what
so
like, I wrote that or
I
said
mean,
that.
I got 2 poem books since we're talking about it.
Man,
So
you really do this.
yeah, so what happened is, and then I did like a fake focus group, and I was asking people like, hey, would you? Because people used to tell me like, man, you should write a book. You should write a book.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, ain't nobody finna sit down and read no book full of poems. You know, so they was like, man, you should write a book. And I'm like, man, ain't nobody gonna sit down and read no book full
And
of
not
poems.
to cut y'all off, viewers. He dropping a book soon.
Yeah.
So just letting y'all know, man. He's working on it, man. You know what I'm saying? But you can go ahead, man. Go ahead.
So, but then it hit me one day was really saying, like, what are you writing all these poems for if nobody's ever gonna get to see them?
You're right.
And so I sat down one day and I just put a bunch of them together and I was asking people like, how many poems would you read in a book? How many poems would you read in a book? And people were like 20. So I'm like, okay, cool. But at that point, I think I had about 52 poems. I was just gonna put 52 poems.
Okay.
So I actually broke it up and I did 25 in the first book and 25 in the second book.
Okay.
And you know, so then I'm like, okay, I gotta come up with a title. So the title is Life and Love.
Life and love.
So it's poems in there about love and poems about life.
Okay.
So it's Life and Love, Volume 1, Volume 2. You know, it's on Amazon. Both of the books on Amazon.
Okay, then well, the link will be down in the description. It'll
Yeah.
be there, man. Just click on it, man. Support. You know what I'm saying? Either A, but no matter what you're going to, it could be about life. I'm almost positive you're gonna have some bars in there about life. And if you're searching for love, looking for love, or if you want to use some of the bars to get in love, grab them. You know what I'm saying? Best thing about coaching, they say, man, if you ain't stealing, you ain't coaching. If you ain't learning, man, if you get to the point as a coach or a person that you don't want to learn anymore, then you pretty much done tapped out, no matter how great you are.
Yeah.
So that's a free bar for y'all, all right? You know what I'm saying? Life and Love, man. By Kai Andrews. Trust me, down in the description, man. Go get it, man. I promise you. Like he shocked me. Fellas, easy, man. You know what I'm saying? Women love a man that can talk. That's comfort.
Yeah, I think that's, see, another thing is like, I really don't talk a lot. So when I start doing other stuff, people would say, I didn't know you write poetry, or I didn't know you do, but I don't really promote myself doing stuff.
Yeah.
Which is, you know, another, I mean, since we here,
Yeah, we
anybody
ain't
that's doing something, promote yourself. Because I don't promote myself the way I feel like I could or I should. But if you're doing something, you know, just like the homie is doing this, this is a great platform to sit down and actually just have conversations. So, you know, like you said, if y'all watching, man, share it with people. You know, and
Please.
That's the thing that you're supposed to do. You're
That's
supposed
the
to
goal.
You gotta, it's like loving yourself. You gotta love yourself more than somebody else do.
Yeah.
And then once you get with somebody, then y'all start loving each other, and then y'all just, you know, it rolls from there. But
You just meeting in the middle. You're coming from two different worlds.
yeah,
You're meeting right here in the middle.
So, you know, promote yourself, because nobody gonna believe in you until you make it. But
Yeah.
by that time, it's already too
Yeah,
late.
you already
Yeah.
that far.
Yeah.
You know, that's why I went and got him. You know,
Yeah.
that's why I went in Pacific. You guys been watching the transition of these shows. I'm making sure I'm putting somebody in front of you that, hey, if you're thinking about being a poet, if you're thinking about writing a book, if you're thinking about realistically just being yourself, it's okay, man. It's okay. Don't allow society to trick you out of not being yourself. And for fellas, the more powerful of you being yourself, whatever woman you had, you're courting or whatever, it don't matter what sex you are. Whatever opposite sex or the same sex you like, the only reason why they like you because you're yourself. Because you're different. That's the reason why. Don't think that, yeah, you was talking. My mom always taught me, man, before you say any word out your mouth, a woman already made a decision, she would talk to you.
Yeah.
Before you say anything.
Yeah.
Now, what you say after may get you in the door, out the door. But don't think that because the game you was spinning, now, the game that you was talking or what you may be saying will get you further along the way.
Hey man, that go for men and women.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Either way.
It's like they say when you go to school, first day of class, everybody start with an A.
Man. First day of school,
So when you meet a man or a woman, you know, everybody start with an A. But
Of course.
it's the things that transpire after that that's gonna keep you at an A or bring you down to a D or F and literally, possibly get you kicked out or something like that. You know what I mean? So
listen.
yeah, you just got to go about it the right way, man.
Fellas, listen, man. Fellas, listen. Please listen. Women gonna listen. I don't care what type of style life. Listen, because you need to be hearing the type of style of woman or type of mate you want to talk to or be with, because then you find yourself stuck in a relationship and you like, bro, she been telling you this from the beginning.
Yeah.
Or he been telling you from the beginning.
Yeah.
But you in love now, so now you gotta make that hard decision, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think poetry, you writing poetry, being expressive about it, man, that would really, I know you're great athlete, I know you all that, but man, that poetry thing hooked me, man. And the fact that you DJ, I can't gloss over that, brother. See, man, this man do it all, jack of all trades. So before I get to this, what drove you to get DJing, this is the biggest question for me, and I know moving further, I didn't get the opportunity to do it now, but where you get your sense of fashion from? Like, who inspires you, maybe just within yourself, or somebody growing up like you, like, I like that person's style, I know you're a jack of all trades, so I'm gonna say, if it was the multitude of folks laying them, or it was just one folk?
What's crazy is it was nobody.
See, there we go.
So, I mean, it's the same thing. And, I jokingly always say if I was, quote unquote famous or something, I wouldn't be able to have a stylist. Because I don't think nobody would be able to.
They can't box you in.
Yeah, and I think a lot of these people dress weird, and it's like, you gonna go out and pick something for me. Like, I don't want all the big baggy clothes. And, people.
You know what you like.
Yeah, like for me, I don't care about names.
Nah.
My thing is, and like even everybody's different. So it's like now I got on orange and orange. A lot of people don't like putting colors on top of color.
They don't.
As long as I'm matching, I'm cool. I don't care what the name of it is.
Yeah.
I just want to match. So I wouldn't even say I have because I think it's a difference between like style and fashion. Okay. I heard, from the people that's in that world. But
that's how they created. That's what
I just feel as long as I'm matching, I'm cool, and I just put stuff together. I give me a pair of shoes, and then I'm like, okay, I got on these shoes. I'm like, these shoes match with this shirt.
Yeah, so it just flows.
Yeah,
you ain't finna make it a big sign.
I don't even, I don't even think I got no sense of style or fashion. It's just as long as I'm matching, I'm cool.
Okay, you pretty much remember it like as long as it flows, as long as it makes you feel good. Right. You know what I'm saying?
Feng shui, that's what they call it.
Yeah, feng shui. Okay. Yeah. So my thing was, so what made you get into DJing?
DJing was just something. I love music, and as you said earlier, when you say we're going back to music, growing up in the houses that we grew up in, listening to Luther and all them people back then, and I be making jokes all the time when I say I still think Peabo Bryson my daddy, man. Like that's all my mama used to listen to.
He's Luther, boy.
That's Luther. Back in the day, you can get an album cover and use it for a dustpan. You can use any dustpan.
Yeah.
You can use any album cover except that Peabo. If you get a Peabo, you feel me? You're in trouble.
It's a problem.
But
you touch him.
I just love music, and I think music is. I was just talking about this with my homie yesterday. My barber was, he said, we were talking about music. He said, music's supposed, when you hear a song, it's supposed to take you somewhere.
Yeah, it does.
And
makes you feel something.
I wasn't born in the 70s, but it's 2025. We still listen to music from the 70s.
Yeah.
We listen to music from the 80s and the 90s and all that kind of stuff. So I love music, and I always felt as if I could keep a party going. Okay. I don't really consider myself to be a real DJ because I don't practice it enough. Because DJing is like you say, that's an art to me. And I think the people that really DJ for real, they know exactly what they're doing, and I don't practice it enough, but I know how to keep a party going.
Okay.
So, and when I first got into it, it was just, I never even intended to be out doing parties. It was just to be in the house. And it was when the world was closed down.
Okay,
so I was just in the house.
COVID.
Yeah, I was just in the house with the little controller and the laptop and downloaded the program, and I just started playing with it, and then somebody asked me to do something, and I did it, and I started doing other stuff. It's like, going back to what I said, you gotta promote yourself. I don't promote myself as being a DJ.
Man.
But I go out and I've done stuff, so, shout out to all the people that's done, actually asked me to come do stuff before, but it's keeping the party going. When you go to a party, the DJ gonna make it or break it. So if you can keep the party going, I think you can be successful. So I just love music, man.
Okay, man. Yeah. I get that, man, because I love music.
Yeah.
I can play it. I can't rock the mic.
Yeah.
But I can give you a hell of a playlist. I can keep it going.
Yeah.
Based on the energy, man. You know.
And that's another thing. When you DJing, you gotta know you can't go from Luther Vandross to Luke.
Nah.
It's gonna mess up the flow of the party.
The whole dance floor gonna click.
Right, because it's gonna be like, what is he doing?
Yeah,
you know, so
just in it.
yeah.
You know
So
what I'm
you know, but DJing is fun, man. Especially when you can actually see people having a good time. That's good to me, and I'm pretty sure it's the equivalent of, you know, I used to say I wanted to, like, I used to rap a little bit. You feel me? So it was like what the feeling is if you run out on a stage and you got 20,000 people singing your song. Yeah, you know so it's live, man. Like I saw DMX like at Woodstock or something. He had 100,000 people out there singing Stop Drop, Settle Down, Open Up Shop. And
Yeah,
they
like,
like,
people cry.
right. So that's what I'm saying. That was like, man, like when it's the same when you play music. It's the same thing because you're gonna have people in their feelings. You're gonna have the crowd hype. You know, so it's a wonderful feeling, man.
Yeah, man. Today was an amazing conversation. You know what I'm saying? I'm glad you stopped by, man. But before I go, I always love to ask all my guests this. And I love to ask this question to get their perspective on what they would do. So I don't know if you're talking to your younger self, you know, as a kid or a young adult, what advice would you give your younger self or a young man that's just watching this, just found you right now? What would you give them about self-esteem or what you feel like, you know, to be better or, you know, what to expect out of life in your own words from what you may have been through or what advice would you generally want to just give out in general?
From the beginning is, you know, don't be afraid to be yourself. And for the self-esteem comment you made, you know, heard Cat Williams say one time was like, somebody said something about their self-esteem, and he was like, it's called self-esteem. Like, you gotta believe in you. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So believe in you and, you know, believe in yourself, because even now, adult me and, you know, just doing things, and I kind of do this in the gym when I started back going to the gym, was just saying, you know, when you get tired or something like that, I sit there and I'm listening to music in my ears and I'm telling myself, you know, you the best. Ain't nobody better than you but you.
One more rep.
Yeah, you the best. Ain't nobody better than you but you. So you gotta have them, you know, them affirmations for yourself. You gotta have those conversations with yourself. You know, they say just don't talk back to yourself. That's when you're crazy. But you know, you gotta believe in yourself, man. And if I could tell my younger self anything, it would just to do that. Believe in yourself, because for a long time I really didn't believe in a lot of things that I was capable of, you know, even as I said about writing the poem books, where I said, nobody gonna sit down and read no poem books. Ain't nobody gonna sit down and read no poem books. Who's gonna sit down and read poem books?
You know, so you beating up yourself.
I'm shooting myself in the foot.
It's that self-doubt.
People were telling me that they like it, but I'm telling myself it's not gonna work.
Yeah.
So you should not wait for anybody else to give you validation.
Just do it.
You gotta validate yourself. And if you don't validate yourself, what happens when you get validation from these people and then they stop validating you? Then you're not gonna believe in you. You're not gonna believe in yourself ever, because you never believed in yourself.
Right. You just went off the energy of them telling you.
So telling my younger self would say to go out and do it, believe in you, and if you believe in yourself, I believe you can accomplish anything. You know, because a lot of people have betted on themselves and took the chance to go do something where people might have told them no, and they still went out and found a way to be successful. And there's countless stories of people doing that, you know, in all different facets of life, you know. So all it takes is really for you to believe in yourself, because you're gonna have the idea to formulate something and you just gotta go with it. It's the same way, like I said, this is a platform, you doing this. You know, so what if somebody would have told you like, man, that sounds stupid. They go out like, who, you finna sit down and talk to people and like try to, like, for what? Man, there's too many people doing that.
Yeah.
So if you listen to that, you would never do the idea that you had.
Nah, you wouldn't.
Everything's been created. You just gotta reinvent the wheel.
Yeah. You gotta create your lane and you gotta get in it and you gotta hog it and don't steer away from it.
So I would tell younger me, believe in yourself, because there's a lot of times I didn't believe in myself with a lot of stuff, you know, so.
All right, man. Well, man, I appreciate you coming on today, man. If you guys got anything out of this episode today, man, you know, it's okay to be multi-talented, as you can see with Mr. Kyle Andrews. It's okay to be yourself, man.
I'm trying.
You know what I'm saying? It always go back to what I always tell you guys, the reason why I created this thing, man, for you. When you do see a Kyle Andrews in the street, you actually have somebody you can physically have a conversation with, talk to, because to me, what he's doing is successful. Everybody look for the broad brand of success, but being successful within yourself, being confident with yourself, and knowing what the track you're going down in your life, that is very successful, because we live in this society where it's a copycat society.
Right.
Nobody wants to be themselves. And there's many people that want to do poetry, that want to put out books. But they saying in themselves, if they watch this episode, they're gonna have the confidence after.
Yeah.
Right? And they're gonna say, you know what, it's possible to do. But if I never brought this to the forefront of them, they wouldn't think it was possible, man. But like I always say, man, on Perspective, where we bring you motivation, inspiration with a conversation. And if you ever like what we said, you didn't like what we said, I beg of you, please put your perspective down in that comment box today, man. Appreciate you, bro, for coming on, man. Thank you for your time, man.
Appreciate it.
And again, man, you know, this won't be your last time you guys seeing him. Trust me.
Yeah.
They'll be back, man. Thank you, man.
All right.